Is Ace Bailey okay? Is Ace Bailey halfway through the year doing all right? We'll check on it next on Locked on Jazz.
You are Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider. This is Locked on Jazz. It's your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz, giving you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you so much for making Locked on Jazz your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast network. Welcome to the Everydayers. You are the greatest. On today's show, Will's Wednesday, some interesting comments about the Charlotte blowout and what his approach was during that ball game. We'll also, I played around, we haven't done this all year, player combos and plus minuses with players on the floor. Interesting. I think a little loose of massive importance, but let's go with interesting, probably because just what the intentions of the season are makes some of the plus minuses harder to figure out. But we're going to start today with how is Ace Bailey doing? That, if you recall, when the year started, the kind of goals were, 1, can Lauri get back to all-star form? Check. 2, can any of the 7 young players really make a jolt forward? Keyonte, check. 3, can a second of the 7 players, young players, emerge as into regular established rotation players? Not there yet, incomplete. And can Ace Bailey develop? So let's check in at the halfway point of the season. We play game 40 tonight on Ace Bailey. And there's a bunch of things I think that I have to put in context, but let me just start with he's fine. The skill level is all there. The 2 plays he made in the fourth quarter the other night were pretty awesome. He hadn't played a lot either, so fatigue was a part of it. The pure ability to get his shot off, awesome. His natural touch shooting, awesome. His ability to impact games defensively when he learns, awesome. His willingness to understand, to ask questions, take in information, try to improve, awesome. So Ace Bailey is fine. And as I've said numerous times, we don't really care that much about Ace Bailey and what he's doing probably until October of 2027. Like, give him some time, let him develop. Now, there is a murmur, but wait a sec. Cooper Flagg is averaging 19, 6, and 4, and VJ Edgecombe's averaging 16, 5, and 4, and Con Knippel's averaging 19, 5, and 4, and these guys are all incredible, and they've all played 1,200, 1,300 minutes, and Dylan Harper showing signs, averaging 10, 3, and 3, not as – and now Trey Johnson is starting to click in, and Jeremiah Fears has played 1,200 minutes. Like, what's wrong with Ace Bailey? So the answer is nothing. But I do think that Ace Bailey is different than those other guys. Just where he's come from in life and where he is in life is a little different. So Cooper Flagg obviously was like the next one, plays USA Elite Basketball, has had massive exposure. And while the NBA has been a jump for him, it clearly hasn't been that much a jump. Dylan Harper, his dad played in the NBA. Like, that's a different level of just being prepared for it. VJ Edgecombe is interesting, but the move from the Bahamas to the United States at, I think it was 16 years old, if I remember correctly, it might have been 14 years old. That's going to life prepare you a little differently than other kids, right? You're coming from living off a generator due to limited electricity in the Bahamas, and in the 9th grade, you end up going to Florida before then transferring to a boarding school in New York, and you've been on your own for 6 years by the time you get to the NBA. That's That's a different path, and he seems it. He's so incredible. He's such a wonderful young man, and he is so mature. And Con Knipple seems wildly mature for his age. He's also old, like relatively. Like, let's not overplay what old is, but he's 20 already. He was born in August of 2005. So I think he's almost an entire year older than Ace Bailey, who was born in August of 2006. In fact, he is over a year older than Ace Bailey. Went to Duke. And I just think those four guys who are ahead of Ace were at a preparation level due to life that is very different than where Ace is. I don't know enough about Trey Johnson, honestly, to know whether that's true for him as well in the 6th pick or Jeremiah Fears in the 7th. Igor Yeoman, or now he's changed the Igor. It's not. It's Yeoman is now how he's pronouncing the last name. The Igor, it's Igor Doyman. Igor Doyman now, I think, is the right way. Anyway, again, he's had quite an experience coming from Moscow to the U.S. There's just more worldly experiences there. And Ace is really learning the NBA. Ace is learning life. Ace is learning life with money. Ace is learning life with 30-year-old teammates. Ace is learning how to deal with injuries and his body and understanding how to work through it. And as much as he wants to play, understanding when the right thing to do. So there's more, I think, going on for Ace Bailey off the court than the unique four guys that came before him. This draft is really just incredible. When you dig into the Ace Bailey numbers, honestly, everything's fine. Like, that's what jumps out to me every time I prep. There's not a gap here where you're like, got to work on that. If you look at his three-point shooting, it's 37% in his opening year of opening year of his career. It's terrific. If you look at, then you delve into it a little deeper and you go to his catch and shoot stuff and you're like, oh, he's 36% on 36 of 103 catch and shoots. Oh, that's great. Okay. You go look at his off the bounce stuff. It's not really from three. It's not there yet, but his mid-range stuff is fine. All right, well, let's look at above the break. Maybe he's having a hard time with the above the break three. No, he's at 35%. He's right at league average at 35%. And his corner three is right at 37%. You dig into the Ace Bailey numbers, and he's league average or above at just kind of everything he's doing other than getting to the free throw line. Okay, that is a skill, a handle, and a strength. I'd like it if he went to the rim a little bit more than 21% of his possessions, and probably be great if he finished a little better than 67%. But that's 67% is average, and if you're average at 19, you're fine. His long twos are at 42%, which is actually well above average, and everything else across the board on him is literally in the 50th percentile. If you're 19 and you're this raw and you're in the league and you're average, we're fine. And the one area where you look at the two areas where you look on Ace Bailey's game and he's behind defensively, and he's gotten way better, just doesn't get it, hasn't been coached yet. Rutgers didn't do it. And going to the free throw line. Okay. The single two most teachable things. So how is Ace Bailey doing? Just fine. In fact, it's all still there. Every hope, every belief, everything of what he might be able to do is there. He's young. He's jovial. He's super fun to be around. I don't like the word. I'm trying to actually think of another word. I'm now literally typing in synonyms for a word that I don't want to use. How about that? This is what the internet lets us do. He's inexperienced, and he's probably a little juvenile. Like, that might be a fair way to say it. He's still so young. He's unsophisticated. So let him grow up and be a kid and grow in the league, and he'll be fine. So how is Ace Bailey doing? Just great. We're all good. Is there going to be a month where you unleash Ace Bailey a little bit? Maybe. That's still the question I have between now and the end of the year on Ace Bailey. Is there going to be a month here where Will says, let's go, 35 minutes a night, really let it rip. Let's have some 4 of 19 shooting nights and see what you do. Plus minus numbers. You get to decide if you think they're worth anything. Next on Locked on Jazz. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of Locked On. It's the official sportsbook of the NBA, and FanDuel's got all sorts of exciting things coming for you. It is happy hour every Friday night before the games tip off. FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the NBA weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop inside the FanDuel app before the action starts, taking FanDuel to the next level. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing for NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new, boost bonuses and surprises. It's easy to check the weekly special before tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing's perfect right before the games, right before the weekend starts. It adds extra energy to Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app, see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour. Today's show is also brought to you by Intercap Lending. At Intercap Lending, Steve Carter is our own personal loan officer, and Steve Carter is simply the best when it comes to customer service. It has been 7+ years that Intercap and Locked On have been together, maybe more now. I keep saying 7 years. It's probably been a year since I've been saying that. Steve Carter's been our own personal loan officer, and honestly, on a personal note, nothing makes me happier when someone emails me at dlock09@gmail.com because I know what the experience you're about to get from Steve. So if you are looking for a loan right now, FHA loans for first-timers, VA loans for great terms for veterans, even USDA loans for those buying in rural areas, or if you're outside of the state of Utah, Steve can take care of you. Intercap Lending is about simplifying the journey to home ownership. If you're ready to make the move, or even if you're starting to explore, give them a look. They're there to help you get supported, informed, and confident every step of the way, and there's no one like Steve Carter. Underwriting times are 24 hours. Most banks take 4 to 7 days to give you a decision on underwriter, so they're still servicing roughly 60% of their loans. Intercap Lending and our own personal loan officer, Steve Carter, is a mortgage company shaking things up to make home loans accessible, straightforward, and personal. And Steve Carter is there for you. So email me at dlock09@gmail.com. That's dlock09@gmail.com. I'll set you with Steve. If you don't want me involved, call Steve directly at 385-800-8528. That's 385-800-8528. Thank you so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. We have the brand new Everydayer program. If you are part of the Everydayer program, you all access Everydayers. You get one-on-one direct communication with me via text. I check it kind of once or twice a day and try to fire back comments and thoughts to you and share things. When rumors break, I try to give you what I think about how it impacts the Jazz. All sorts of just one-on-one direct thing. You get all my game notes as I prep for broadcast and hopefully make it a better viewer experience. Plus, Leaf Tuline's giving you bonus content, getting you ready for the NBA draft, breaking down extra insight on what's going on with all of our draft prospects. And that Leaf's incredible with that. That's bonus content you only get if you're Locked On Everydayer All Access member. Special welcome along the way to Keith Runyon, who joined us as a Everydayer yesterday as well. Glad to have you aboard. Thank you so much for becoming a brand new Locked On Everydayer. Also joining us, I think it was yesterday, was Chris Hackett, Glad to have you aboard, Chris, as a everydayer on as part of the program. You also can do that's $15 a month. If you do it at that level, you can, or $150 a year, or you can do plus the $5 a month, which gets you Locked On Sports Today ad-free, Locked On Sports Jazz ad-free, and access to our Discord channel. Here's why we need the Discord channel. By the way, go to lockedonjazz.supercast.com. That's lockedonjazz.supercast. Here's why we need a super chat. Okay. So I literally post like a ski and talk. And Matilda spawns, I can get on board with a ski talk. And of course, she's an OnlyFans. And then Michelle says, why is Kevin Love resting 3 games in a row? She's OnlyFans too. And then Sarah Elizabeth followed me, and she's OnlyFans. And Kimberly Thomas said, all-time subtle flex, #respect. And she's OnlyFans too. What is the use of Twitter anymore? It's terrible. It's all I get all the time. I get bots, this, bots, that, bots that are angry, bots that tell me I suck, and women that, never mind, shouldn't finish that sentence. It would have been really funny, though. So, join our Discord channel. That's what that was about. It's just so annoying. Such a bummer. All right, I played around plus minus. I'm not going to be hell-bent on telling Will Hardy that I think decisions should be made on this. This is a little bit more of just, this is interesting, okay? Our 5-man lineups, we have one 5-man lineup that's positive. And that is the players played a lot. Keyonte George, Bryce Sensabaugh, Svi Mikhailuk, Lauri Markkanen, and Yusuf Nurkic. That 5-man lineup is +3. The other one that's positive, it's only played 31 minutes, is Yusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen, Keyonte George, Bryce Sensabaugh, and Isaiah Collier. So that one's, it's plus 14.8. It's played like 30 minutes. Those are of lineups that have played 30 minutes. There are some, now you start to delve down and you get into some 3-man lineup stuff. And obviously the only 3-man lineup, honestly, that I really care about is Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, and Keyonte George. And we haven't seen it. Right? We never got to see it this year. But that would be the one 3-man lineup that actually matters to me a little bit. And when you start digging in to the Walker Kessler lineups, there are some like interesting things in there. Like Walker Kessler, Keyonte George, and Kyle Filipowski, who played 65 minutes together, are +17. Suddenly, well, maybe, we would be having a total different opinion on Kyle Filipowski's season if he was playing with Walker Kessler all the time. I don't know if that's true, but it's an interesting thought at least. So I don't know how much, those sample sizes when we're involving Walker are very, very, very small, but they're actually the ones that would have mattered this year. So I just wanted to point it out. The Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Keyonte George lineup, frankly, is probably, now that Keontae's good, we didn't even know that, like at the time, we didn't know that was going to be that important because we didn't know that Keontae was going to be that good. Would have been the lineup that you watched. So we'll look at some others instead. Our most common 3-man units of Lauri, Svi, and Keyonte, Yusuf Nurkic, Lauri, and Keyonte are all okay. Like for a team that's not supposed to be good, Lauri Markkanen, Yusuf Nurkic, and Keyonte George is a -2.8. That's not terrible. That's certainly not bottom 3 or 4 in the league. Lauri Markkanen, Keyonte George, Bryce Sensabaugh is positive. We don't have a lot of lineups that are positive. Lauri Markkanen, Keyonte George, Kyle Filipowski is +9. Interesting. Lauri, Keyonte George, Svi Mikhailuk, Kyle Filipowski is +6. Yusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen, and Walt Clayton is +6. Lauri Markkanen is kind of the vital piece of all of these puzzles, obviously. Lauri Markkanen, Keyonte George, Walt Clayton is +4. The only really plus that's played at like 100 minutes that does not have Lauri Markkanen in it is Fee Mikhailo, Keyonte George, and Bryce Sensabaugh, but I'm guessing it actually had Lauri Markkanen in it. You just don't know who the other two players are. You can kind of deduce from the previous data I gave you. Looking at two-man lineups. Again, a lot of noise. Let's be careful. Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George are minus 1.3. It's pretty good, right? That's a little below 500 team. If you're 0, you'd be a 500 team. So without a roster really built around them, Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George, with their starting center out for the year, are right around a 500 team just when the two of them are on the floor together. You'd need to be better than that, obviously, for the whole year. Jusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen is minus 1.7. So about the same. Jusuf Nurkic, Keyonte George is minus 6.8. Now we get into some interesting ones. Okay. Keyonte George, Kyle Filipowski is a minus 7. Ace Bailey's minus on almost everything. I don't have him really in here. Keyonte George, Isaiah Collier together, which eyeball feels right, is a minus 20 with a 130 defensive rating. That jumped out to me. That's negative, but that jumped out to me. Right? That's a 130 defense, 129 defensive rating, and a minus 20. Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski is a minus 16. Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh is a minus 16. So that bench unit, Isaiah, with the other young players, has not been particularly strong. Isaiah Collier or Lauri Markkanen, Kyle Filipowski together, would have never guessed this. Plus 9.6. Huh? Never would have got that. Lauri Markkanen does seem to be the positive key on everything. Unless he's with Isaiah Collier, then it's minus 9. Lauri Markkanen, Walt Clayton, positive. Right up, I think, positive 0.5. Who? Jusuf Nurkic, Walt Clayton, positive 2.0. Surprised. Keyonte George, Walt Clayton, about even. 125 offense, 125 defense. Jusuf Nurkic, Isaiah Collier minus 13, which is surprising because I thought I was going to see that Isaiah Collier's negatives were largely because he was playing with non-centers, Kevin Love, but it minus 13 with Nurk. Not surprising. Isaiah Collier, Cody Williams together, two non-shooters, minus 21. So what's the so what here? Probably, honestly, not a huge amount. The Lauri Keyonte being just minus 1.3 for the season's pretty encouraging for long term. The Lauri Kyle Filipowski's weird, and I would like to watch it to see what it means that it's that positive. The Walt Clayton plus minus numbers are pretty interesting that he may really have a positive impact on how the game's played. That's my takeaway. Will's Wednesday is next on Locked On Jazz. Why did he stand at the scorer's table with his arms folded for almost the entire second half of the 55-point blowout to Charlotte? Next on Locked On Jazz. Today's edition of the show is brought to you by Wayfair. The new year is here. It's a perfect time to reset your routine, refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels. That's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's one-step shop for getting your home back on track For bedding to mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start your year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need from a full home refresh all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. I picked up new bedding, accent pillows from Wayfair, and it's completely changed the way our bedroom looks, cleaner, calmer, and more put together. We use a little Wayfair for decking out a house because shopping's easy, delivery is smooth, and everything arrives exactly as expected. Honestly, it gets it easy and it's manageable. So get organized, refresh, get back in track. I didn't do that much of it. She did most of it. Okay, yeah. The new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things. That's wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Today's show is also brought to you by ZocDoc. Finding a doctor you actually like can feel like discovering a diamond in the rough, second-round draft pick that becomes an all-star. You want someone in your network nearby with availability, but also you want a doctor who really listens and makes you feel comfortable, explains things clearly, and helps you walk out feeling confident and happy about your next steps. Your diamond in the rough doctor does exist, and finding it's easy with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can choose someone you can truly connect with. I love that you can search the specialty or symptoms and quickly find the right fit. Being able to choose in-person or video visits makes scheduling way easier, and you can check the verified patient reviews as well. Real-time validity means you can book instantly, no phone tag. Appointments usually happen within 24 to 72 hours, and you need it fast, you can get it. First place you go is ZocDoc. Stop putting off doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find, instantly book your doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message in today's show. Thank you so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen. All right, it's always a little bit of a mystery of whether I can get this to work correctly. But our Wednesdays, we like to go take a highlight of the press conference somewhere along the way with Will Hardy during the week that jumps out to me and says, oh, that's interesting, and people should like that. And I can't find it. That's so weird. It's right here. I wonder why it's not showing up. Oh, here it is. We now share the Will Hardy screen. And we now hit play, and you should be able to hear it. Hopefully all goes right.
Does the body language send a message?
Sometimes you're more demonstrative. You were a little less demonstrative with the game at hand.
Yeah, I didn't think that. Those are my guys. That's a hard night for all of us. I make it a point to always stand because I'm never going to be the person that's going to sit and hide while we're getting our heads kicked in. But I also recognize, and, you know, I'm on these guys really hard, but in certain moments, my first responsibility is for them to know that I'm with them and that I'm not another critic. I'm not another person chirping from the crowd, and I'm not compounding what is already a bad feeling. You know, I have to have enough feel in certain moments to know they know and already feel awful about how it's going. They don't need me adding to that in those moments.
What do you hope they use to take some big?
Thought that was like, that's really all I got. I mean, there's been a lot of other really interesting things this week, but I thought that was like, that's a head coach. We get so many pictures of Will Hardy just screaming and going nuts and riding the guys, and he's clearly just not wanting to allow losing to ever become numb on these guys, or else he's lost everything. And there's so many alternative or outside forces that are trying to make that happen. And so he's working so hard to create that here at this moment, he's standing up and saying, like, I'm with you. Like, I'm here. I'm not ducking this. We're all part of this. We threw you out here tonight without Nurk, without Lauri, and this is ugly, and it feels terrible, and I'm with you. And I thought that was super interesting way to look at it. That is Locked On Jazz today, tomorrow. Jazz Bulls tonight. Tune in. If you're watching on Jazz Plus, you can flip the stream to radio and listen to Ron and I hope you enjoy us. If you catch us on the drive home, we would love that as well. Thanks so much for tuning in to Locked On Jazz today. We now say the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked On NBA, plus on audio. Check out Game Night, every game, every night.